I'd now like to call on Mr. David Burke, who is the Programme Manager of Pobal, to say a few words.
Mayor, Minister, members of the Oireachtas, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be here on behalf of Pobal to be part of tonight's celebration. I got my invitation some time ago. It was 10 o'clock at night. It was dark, I was cold, I was tired, and we were standing pretty much in a field in South Roscommon, and I got my orders. And then Irene launches enthusiastically into a whole breakdown of what was going to be happening tonight. So, look, delighted to be here. It genuinely is a privilege. Delighted to be back in Roscommon. I'm originally from Tuam. I know Roscommon quite well. My father in the 70s and 80s had a grocery shop here in Roscommon town, so I used to be dispatched quite regularly. My father was quite a versatile guy, so he came up with these plots and plans how to overcome the limitations of being everywhere all the time. So he came up with this CB relay system. In the days before mobile phones, it meant he could be in the car and still in charge of everything. So there was one slight problem with the system. The televisions closest to the car would pick up the signal. So I always enjoyed the thought that there were people in Roscommon watching Biddy on the Reardons, wondering why she's shouting that Roscommon needs toilet rolls and cornflakes. So I'm here to fess up on behalf of my departed father. So it is a privilege to be back. There's very little at this stage that hasn't been said, so I will try and be quick, okay? I had the privilege of working with a woman called Sister Stanislaus Kennedy for a number of years. One thing she was always very strong on is capture the learning, tell your story. And I think that's what tonight is about. I think your presentation, Irene, tonight was excellent. I think it did just that. I think the publication is excellent, and I think it does just that. So our experience of the team is also just that. The fact that Roscommon County Childcare Committee was the first committee in the country to actually secure excellence in people recognition validates that. We in Pobal rely on the local texture and the expertise that the Roscommon City and County Childcare Committee and all the other City and County Childcare Committees offer us. We are very dependent on you. Recent years have been a particularly tumultuous time, has seen very significant shifts in early education and childcare in this country. In addition to, in particular, the impact of the economy, prior to that we had shifts in current spending, very significant shifts, where we moved from grants to actual payments for services, and that was a very dramatic shift for services. I think after the initial adjustment to that, though, I think it ultimately has been something very, very empowering. And I think it was on the part of the department at the time, the Office Minister for Children at the time, it was a very, very brave move. It was ahead of the curve in public policy in the sense of it very, very clearly structured things that it put the citizen, the child, at the centre, and it structured things that the resource very clearly followed the real needs on the ground. So I think it was a very significant policy development. One of the other most significant policy developments of recent years has been, of course, the free preschool year. The European Commission, in a recent publication, stated that early childhood education and care is the essential foundation of successful lifelong learning, social integration, personal development, and later employability. The Minister mentioned the OECD report last week. Pobal had the privilege of hosting the International OECD conference last week in Dublin, and the theme of the conference was building quality jobs for the recovery. And we worked very hard in conjunction with the Minister's Department and 3 other government departments to ensure that early childhood care and education was an integrated part of the agenda to that for those very reasons. One of the themes that came through in that conference was that the skills that employers need and repeatedly report as not being able to get are the skills that are developed before any formal education. It's the little things like reliability, being able to eyeball someone, talk to someone, turning up on time, interaction, empathy, flexibility, being able to plan, being able to problem solve, confidence. I suppose what we tend to call in Ireland a bit of cop on. And they are the things that employers repeatedly say, in spite of formal educational attainment, they are the things they most rely on and find most difficult to secure. The free preschool year is such a vital opportunity to invest in each and every child at a most valuable time in their life cycle. And also, we're very conscious that the effect of the free preschool year has been to drive standards and expectations of families, parents, of services. It really is having a huge, huge significant impact. And the department's insistence of tying quality to the free preschool year has been a very significant opportunity for this country and for our future well-being and recovery. We know that Roscommon per head of population has over the past decade been punching above its weight in many respects, both in terms of the value of the Equal Opportunities Childcare Programme and the National Childcare Investment Programme. They've been very successful here, as Irene was demonstrating there, in terms of capital investment and the numbers of services participating in the free preschool year and in the number of services participating in the new SET scheme and in the total number of services within the county. So punching above its weight, so congratulations on that. Obviously a very good job is being done, and I think a lot of that comes down to leadership. And Irene also made the point about the demand involved in being a member of a board of an organisation. And I think just to acknowledge Bernadette and the board members of Roscommon County Childcare Committee, it is a very significant commitment, and I think you have to take a lot of responsibility for the success of the past decade. And just one very final quick point. I'm very conscious it's been a very good, very full, very interesting, but long evening too. One point I'd like to make about the apartment, just an observation if I may. One of the things I suspect a lot of people across county and city childcare committees don't appreciate is the significant level of relationship and engagement you have with senior officials and the Minister. That's actually very unusual to have that level of relationship. I think it's a testament to the quality of the City and County Childcare Committees. It is a testament to the symbiotic nature of the relationship there with the department. But it is to an unusual degree, and I think it works. I think a significant development has been the development of the Department of Children and Youth Affairs, and I think a particularly significant development has been that we have secured a Minister who is particularly well experienced, who is particularly well informed, who is particularly dedicated, who is particularly articulate, and who is particularly energetic. And we are particularly blessed to have you, Minister, and that's genuine. Thank you very, very much. So, congratulations to you all, both in Roscommon County Childcare Committee and for all of you here in the room. You've had a tremendous decade. Well done.